are good. And when he was interrogated further on what he meant, he emphasized this. He said, it is not our wealth that build our roots, but it is our roots that build our wealth. And that can be summarized in what we have put forward here, that poverty reduction and wealth creation are direct offsprings of efficient road transport, without which none of the other efforts will succeed. Having that in mind, I mentioned a few. If you mention the word corridor, that is where people's minds go. And I'd like to just mention a few of them. Number one is the Lagos-Kano-Jibia corridor, which is a trade transit corridor, a very major one for that matter. So this is in discussion in virtually every trade discussions in Nigeria. Then you have the Zero Oil corridor, which is two. One goes along the Lakaji corridor, and then the second one that goes all the way there down to Chad. They are also known corridors. Then we have the Federal Road Safety Corps, World Bank Safe Corridors. 6 of them, it has expanded. The Federal Road Safety Corps, we'll talk more about it later, which are based on safety indices on the various selected routes. Then we have a list of general trade corridors put together by a number of stakeholders, which I have a list. And there's this at different levels, playing different roles, of course, for facilitating trade. So a bit of a question: do we really have defined corridors by policy? The answer is what we are here to actually give, and the obvious is that currently we do not have. Each of the different corridors exist in different documents depending on the document you are looking at. If you are looking at it from the point of safety, yes, we have. If you are looking at it from the point of trade, then you talk about the Lakaji and then the few other ones. So the corridors are not defined, as it were. Such fragmentation calls for this kind of engagement to provide direction through which government can approve a national policy that provides direction for all stakeholders. Where are we on the issues of road transport, particularly with regards to the issues at stake? Over 90% of goods and passenger movement in Nigeria are carried on the roads. The rec sector is only at the verge of revival and would be a huge relief if successful. There is a huge potential for inland waterways to provide complementary, if not alternative, to road system, but largely unharnessed. Pipelines which exist across Nigeria has largely failed. Transferring all bulk liquids to the road. The air transport is too expensive for freight in Nigeria. And to that extent, the road bears the bulk. We have all of those information, but then only 15% of the total road networks in Nigeria are paved, have been paved in the last 55 years, according to the Minister of Works, Fashola. So we have a situation where, very annoying, over 95% of interstate travel vehicles are on the 18% federal roads. And that gives 95% of all the vehicles are traveling on 18%, which is the federal roads. World Bank Safest Roads Ranking puts Nigeria at this level in 2009. Of course, there hasn't been any recent one, so we'll rely on that for now. Of course, different level of improvement has taken place over the years. And so you have fatalities of 5,000 based on the FRSC figure, which World Bank says is 39. Of course, the two figures are correct. FRSC is based on actual deaths on the road, while World Bank is based on projections, based on clear indices that they have and they use to extract. The only concern we have within is that the gap between the actual and the projection is too wide. It's not very much as this in other countries, which is a concern we need to interrogate. Of course, the improvement in data analysis and collection currently going on will be able to bridge that gap. Builders of the roads are different from managers of the road, and that's a big concern, which is why we wish that the Federal Minister of Works are here. They are a key stakeholder in this. Federal Minister of Works is a key stakeholder. So we have all of those road analysis. I'll just be jumping a few of the slides. Yes. Okay.
This pothole, was it talked
deliberately? Just to tell you, a special interest in Nigeria.
We have it on the roads.
Okay, so the obvious fact.
Today I saw one. Bigger than that.
The obvious fact is this:
yes,
that the contribution of transport as a result of the failure of the road system is as low as this in the midst of other performing African countries. Despite Nigeria's huge population statistics, the contribution of transport sector to GDP is too small compared to the performance in other countries of the world. Then there is this ranking. World ranking on quality of road infrastructure. Nigeria is 131 out of 141. And we are 31st among 38 African countries analyzed. Our statistics is too poor. Now, when you now compare that with this one that came from World Ranking on Availability and Quality of Road Infrastructure in the Enabling Trade Index, Nigeria, look at where we are, 93rd out of 136 is similar to this. A snapshot of the Lakaji corridor, for instance, was done to look at what are the issues there currently. Look at the outcome. It costs $3,041 and takes approximately 12.5 days to export a 20-feet container along the Lakaji corridor, for instance, from Lagos to Jibia. This is the amount. This amount is almost equivalent to the amount you need to bring the same container from Brazil to Nigeria. This is the irony of where we are. It is more expensive to take a container from Lagos to Jibia than to bring it from Brazil to Nigeria. The irony of the situation we are facing. It costs this amount to take up. If you increase the number of days, the cost also increases. Over 60% of the time required to import and export goods via the Lakaji corridor is attributed to delays along that corridor. And those delays, we can mention them, stops here and there. We're going to see later in one of the flashes where the Federal Road Corps said 90% of the trucks that apply on our roads are 30 years old and above. You put all of this data together and you know that our journey is still very long, which makes this kind of engagement critical. I will permit me to jump all of this since these slides will be given to us. And then that brings us overall, the annual trade loss due to bad road is valued at 80 billion naira, while additional vehicle operating and maintenance costs resulting from bad road is valued at a humongous amount of 53 billion naira, bringing a total annual loss to this. This is Nigeria Export Promotion Council figure. And so we have a situation where in the AFCFTA, Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, initiative on transport for Nigeria, which is where the concern is centered on aviation and maritime. From a beautiful aeroplane, beautiful airport, this is Abuja Airport, beautiful car, through a window-dressed access road from the airport, then you drop into a jungle. Traffic in the city. It's the same. You have a container that is enjoying freedom on the high sea come to the terminal, he finds comfort at the terminal, only to drop into the same jungle. That is why whatever effort you make at the